Svona. Ok, já, og þetta. Okay, so now I would like to revisit the studies that we have been discussing sometimes during this course, because now you know more what I'm talking about. So I think you can, these studies talk to you in a different way now than in the beginning. So first, we will take this survey that Helena Sif did. And she asked computer science graduates from Reykjavik University, graduating from 2005 to 2010, to take part in the survey. She made a web survey, but she did send a paper to everybody, like a letter, and it had a link to the web survey. There were 105 that answered the whole questionnaire, but there were 135 that began to answer it. So it was 26% of the people that we did send the questionnaire to that answered the whole questionnaire. And this is the distribution there. Yeah. And they've all taken the Hugbúnaðarfræði, so software project management course in Reykjavik University too. Okay, so I remember that I showed you this. This is the work responsibility. So we asked them, what is your work responsibility? And they could say more than one. And I've always been very surprised that only 22% say that their main work responsibility is programming. And now I actually went to the data from Helena Sif and dug into it, and I found that she did a flaw in this. So I'm a bit irritated about that, but so what she did was, okay, because you were able to say more than one, we have more than 135 answers. There may be 400 answers. 93 said they were using programming. So she took 93 divided by 400 answers, but not participants. But I have calculated it again for her. So these are the right numbers. And here you can see that people in Reykjavik University, or graduating from Reykjavik University, 70% of them are programming as one of the tasks, main job roles they have. Okay, but many are doing design and analysis, what we have been emphasizing in this course. And then around 40% are doing testing, and then around 60% are in the category of specialists. And the specialist category, this is like a better analysis of that. So they are doing teaching or research, they are doing system administration, they are in management or project management. So if you chose one of this, you came a specialist in this one. You see? Okay, so I was also then wondering, okay, there are 30% that don't do programming. Actually, 31%. What are they doing? And those that are doing programming, are they doing many other things? So there are actually, 31% that are not doing programming at all. They are doing requirements, design, testing, or they are specialists. And there are also 31% that are not doing any requirements, design, and testing. You see? So they are, I thought it was so strange that it is the same number. Both the people that don't do any programming and the people that don't do any requirements, design, and testing. They are just in programming or specialists. So this was like for me as a nerd on numbers, I thought it was so strange that it is the same number for these two different groups. Yeah, but there are actually 69% that are doing some requirements, design, or testing. And if we look, how many answers did they give? How many did say that they had 3 main job roles? It was 20%. You see? So actually, when you come out there, you will probably be in various things. Yeah? There are 32%, maybe, 32% that only have like one task. But 55 have 3 and more. So I thought this was interesting, actually. Looking at, I was really engaged in these numbers, and it was it was so fun, so much fun. Here better. And if we look at, there are 58 that say that requirements analysis is their main job role. Out of those, 86% say that design is also their main job role. You see, so so design and requirement analysis often go together. Those that are programming, they often do design and programming, but it's not as frequent as design and requirements. You understand how to read this? So you have 93 that they say that programming is their main job role. Out of those, 53%, maybe 47 people, also do requirements analysis as their main job role. You see? It's a bit heavy, but you could also see that no. Oh, it's okay. So you take how many of those that are programming, of these 93, also say that they do requirement analysis. And that's probably 47 something. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very strange. Yeah, this is because, out of those that say they are designing, it's 73, they 68 say that they are also programming. Yeah, yeah. It must be that Yeah, this was a puzzle for me. Maybe I have to look at it once more. And yeah, I totally agree with you. This is a bit strange, and I think I have to look at the numbers once again, and maybe come with another table on Monday. So I was doing this before the weekend, and I thought actually it would. And this is maybe because how I calculated. But I will look at it again. Yes. I'm sorry? Yeah. Yeah, that was the most frequent one. Yes. Okay, let's look at the type of the software that is being developed in Icelandic software industry. There are many people that say that they're doing business applications or for banking. So it's 40% doing sort of financial systems. And here you can see a little bit what the others are doing. This was from 2011. And many of them were using Scrum. You've seen this before. So almost half of them using Scrum. And this could be because they have taken Hugbúnaðarfræði and they choose these companies that are using Scrum. So I don't know if this is like a picture of how the software industry in Iceland is today. But at least you can see that people like you that are graduating from here most likely are using some agile project management methods. So now maybe this data talks to you a little bit better now. So when we asked how many have used interviews, of those that answered, 67 individuals used interviews, and 81 used meetings. So you see that meetings are very, very popular. The next, the second one is using user stories, and then scenarios are quite popular, and then interviews and lo-fi prototypes. But this is what I think is the most interesting thing. They rated interviews quite highly. So you see that it's only 8.5% of the people that say that it doesn't work or doesn't work well, interviews. All the others say it's either works okay or works very well.
They know that are extremely usable and something like that, but it's just way too much problem using that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So we only this rating is out of the people that have used the methods. Yeah. So we asked the people that have used them to rate them. But in this, we didn't ask them how often they used it, but we will come to that later also. Another study was Daniel Multik. He did a similar study to Helena Sif, but here not as many responded. So these, we only got 73 people answering, and this was quite strange because here we found all the emails of the people and we did send them a link in email on the survey. So we didn't send them a paper letter asking them, would you be able to participate in a survey, which I thought was harder to get participants to respond to, but we got less responses here. And I don't know why this is. We asked people from 2009 to 2014, so 2 years of graduates also participated in Helena's. So that could be one reason that they were tired of this. But I don't know. It was actually not so high response rate. So yeah. Yeah.
From someone I don't know, I'll leave it.
Maybe that. But he did also this, and he did the same error. But I haven't digged into his numbers, so maybe I will do that before Monday. Give you new numbers. Yeah. No, I haven't. And this is just because we have the information about our graduates, but not graduates from Hawaii. So, yeah. Okay, but we can see that still business and finance has a big share of the total, types of the software made. We have data management also here, and games are getting a little bit higher here. But I think the interesting, we had a new question here on the types, which Helena didn't ask about. And web applications are most dominant. And then we have apps for phones. So 50% are in this. This is like client server, more like Windows or like a more heavy stuff, and mainframe software is there. And then something in other, and many of those said, yeah, but I'm both doing web applications and apps. And so they wanted to give us more than one answer. We asked them about what is the major emphasis, and I was very happy about that they emphasize mostly user satisfaction. The difference here, in my understanding, is that users are the people that use the software. Client is client is a person that pays for the software. It can be a user. Often it is. You sometimes buy something and you use it, but sometimes you're buying something for your whole department, or you're a manager and you're buying. So, and if you have a contract with the company, you're the client, but you're maybe not using the software that you're buying. So, in my understanding, client is that person. So here is the feedback methods, and we can see that meetings are still the most frequent ones. Interviews are often also used, but here lo-fi prototyping is not as frequently used as in Helena's survey. Many, or 10%, are doing informal usability evaluation. So that's good. And we asked how often do they gather feedback from users. And this is very good that 65% are doing it either once a week or 1 to 3 times a month. So at least once a month, 65%. So I'm very happy about that. This is what I would like you to do too. To compare which methods, or are they talking to colleagues? Yes, they have meetings with colleagues, and they sometimes do informal usability evaluation with colleagues, meaning people that you work with, and they do that once a week. So they are really emphasizing gathering feedback on the things they do. The last thing is a usability study, a survey study from Sweden. And this is Johan that made this. He was a master student at Uppsala University, and I was her supervisor, and Åsa Kajentor was that too. She's working at Uppsala University. And we wanted to see how often the techniques were used and how the ratings were. So we had a little bit different selection of methods. So here we had workshops. So, and 73% of the participants used workshops. More than half of them used lo-fi prototyping and interviews and meetings. And the rating is like this. So they really, really liked formal usability evaluation, like you were doing in assignment 4. That is like the highest rated method. And I hope that you experienced that in assignment 4, how really powerful it is to do this, even though it takes time. They really liked workshops too. So this is one, and I have actually been introducing this to you, both with, doing the review on the visions and then doing the walk of the wall here at during lectures. And they also liked informal usability evaluation. These were the 3 ones that got the highest rating. How often do they use it? We were discussing that. Formal evaluation isn't used very often. You see, it's 82% here, and 2 to 6 times a year. And then 7 to 12 times a year, 18%. None does it once a week, and so it's not. The most frequent one could be once a month, but we don't really know. We have done interviews about this, and people typically say, well, we do it once or twice a year. So because it takes so much effort, it's hard to do. But what I would recommend to you is try to do it, even though you only have 2 or 3 users. And maybe you have the same tasks more or less and same questionnaire, so it doesn't have to be so heavy work to do formal evaluation, because it has gets great rating. It is really the most powerful method from this results at least. They do lo-fi prototyping very frequently, so this is really what they like to do. We could see the rating of it also. Lo-fi, gets rather good rating. 75% say it's very good or fairly good. Okay, and just to finish, when you want to choose a method, let's say that you're working in a Scrum team, you say, well, we will gather feedback from users every week or every sprint, every 2 weeks. Which methods should we use? We have the 2-week sprint in front of you. What should we do? It really depends on what you would like to gain. So if you want to know what people say about something, you would do the things here on the left. You could do interviews, you could do focus groups, you could do surveys. But if you want to know what people do, actually, you would do usability testing, or you could do automated testing, or maybe A/B testing. If you want to gain insights, really understanding what is it really that they are doing, you're on the top of the list there, doing interviews or usability testing. But if you want to gather numbers, you're down here. So A/B testing is down here. You're gathering numbers, but not really, gaining understanding. So it all depends on what information you would like to get out of it. And remember, I recommend that try to use one method each sprint. Gather feedback from users each sprint with whatever method you find suitable during that sprint. Yeah, and the last thing when you're planning, we didn't go through that. We have this. We have all these methods, so pick the method that practitioners rate highly, and you could pick from these surveys here. Okay. Yeah, and if you want to learn more than in this course, I have another course called Human-Computer Interaction, which will probably be running next autumn. There we focus on different non-mouse interaction styles. I have a master course in which is called Research Methods in Human-Computer Interaction, where you can learn how to do research. And you could do final projects with research emphases like Helena and Daniel did. There are also possibilities of doing independent studies. That's all for today. We will have a lecture Monday, and then I will go quickly through the methods and the emphases in the written exam. And I will also have a question and answer session then. I will show you typical questions for the written exam then, but there will not be any lecture after Easter's. So see you after the weekend. Have a nice time until then. And thank you all for attending today.